What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Sunday edition of the Pandemic Update for Sunday, January 28th, 2024. It's Sunday. That means we do the wastewater update today. But first, we do have a couple things to share with you before we do that. And, as always, if you're new to the channel, give this a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to stay informed and safe from all the different viruses that could be a health threat to you. Starting off today, I saw this on Twitter. It comes from Sky News. I had to share this with you. It's a great way to lead into the wastewater update because it's just totally ridiculous. The world's largest cruise ship, the size of almost 4 city blocks, began its maiden voyage from the port of Miami on Saturday. This ship includes water slides, swimming pools, an ice skating ring, and more than 40 restaurants, bars, and lounges. What is the name of this ship, you may ask? It is the Icon of the Seas. Take a look here. This huge monstrosity, not only is it going to be a virus trap, it's also going to be problematic that if it should get stranded at sea for whatever reason, you're talking a ton of people stranded. How many people? Yeah, take a look at this. The ship includes water slides, well, you know that, restaurants, but up to 7,600 passengers at maximum capacity, along with 2,350 crew members. You're talking nearly 10,000 people. Imagine if, as time goes on during a week of traveling, as it sets sails, they did a wastewater test on there. They checked the wastewater on the ship. I guarantee you it's going to find at least something, and I question when I quote retweeted Sky News, how long until the first virus outbreak on the ship. I don't think it's going to take all that long. Alright, moving on here. I conducted a poll yesterday. Just a simple poll question. Have you gotten sick during the winter surge of viruses? Well, there were 1,370 votes, with 25 minutes left in the poll. 24.9% said yes, 75.1% said no. So the vast majority said no, but still nearly 25% did test positive or gotten sick of some sort. I shouldn't say test positive because I just asked, have you gotten sick? So, yes, there are people getting sick out there, even in the cautious community. It can happen, which is sad to see, but hey, it does happen. All right, let's take a look at BioBot for wastewater. And we see all across the country at this time, wastewater, it's dropping. It's dropping fastest in the Northeast. I would say second fastest would be either the Midwest or the West Coast, but then you come down to the South. And though it is still dropping, it's not dropping as fast. So you get the idea here. The national trend is down, but what I want you to pay attention to is we're going to see a few wastewater sites here and there that are not following the national trend. So if you live in a certain area, it's not best to follow the trend. It's best to follow what's happening locally if you have a wastewater site near you. Not everyone does. You're going to see some states don't even have wastewater sites. Oklahoma being one of them. None of them are on the maps at this time, at least not that I saw. Then we're going to see a state where finally some wastewater sites are starting to come back. All right, first we have to take a look at this map, and you do see a wide range of different things. You see some places are still very high. This is for COVID now. Very high in Vermont, very high in North Carolina, Florida. Georgia's still very high. Texas is still very high. California is still very high. But then you have some places that are just high still. Montana, Idaho, Washington. And then you come down here and there are some places that are starting to get moderate. Colorado's moderate. Low in Arkansas. Then we come up here to take a look at Connecticut, where it is moderate at this time. And then you have several states such as Mississippi, Louisiana, Oklahoma, New Mexico, North Dakota, and Oregon, which has no data at all. But Oregon, we will get you something today when we come over to this CDC page here. First off, I have to explain what all the colors mean. Maybe someone's new and they haven't seen this before. That's fine. Or you need a reminder of what all the different various colors mean. Well, white colors, they're new sites. There's 37 of them, and not listed on the right are these gray sites. Those are ones that have not updated or insufficient data. You can see down here, it says no recent data next to the gray sites. Then you come to these blue sites. We hope to see more blue sites, and you're probably going, well, why do you want to see more sites that are blue? Because blue is the lowest level of COVID detected. That's 0 to 19%. There's only 13 of them, but hey, it went up a little bit. It went up a little bit. It's up by 8%. Then you come to a medium shade of blue, 20 to 39%. That's 65 sites. That actually went up by 63%. Another good thing. And then the really light shade of blue, which is at 40 to 59%, there's 191 of them. And that went up by 18%. And the sites that we want to see dropping are dropping. Not a lot, but they're starting to drop. The orange, which is this moderate shade, you can see there's quite a few of them on the map still. They are now dropping. There's 472 of them, but it's down by 3%. What is dropping a little bit more significantly is the red sites. 371 of them. That's actually down by 24%. All right, let's start off this in the West Coast because I want to show you something. I'm excited to show this to you. Look at this. We actually have some sites that are reporting in the state of Oregon. Is this fantastic news or what? We haven't seen much out of Oregon in quite some time. However, there's some bad news with this. Lane County, Oregon, 235,155 population. Now, it has not updated since earlier in the month, but at that time it was still rising. Taking a look here at another Lane County site, much smaller site, it is dropping and just randomly going along here. You can see there are sites pretty much doing just about everything. Some are rising, like Jackson here, 133,000 population. That one's rising, but then you come to another site. Okay, this one is rising as well, but some of them are also dropping. Here's another Jackson. This one is dropping. Let's go up to the northwest portion of the state. Again, rising ever so slightly. And let's take a look at Washington while we're here as well. Pierce and King County. This is a big wastewater site. 896,000 population, and it is dropping at this time. Now coming back, let's zoom out a little bit. Utah. Look at Utah here. There's quite a few different sites in Utah, and we do see that there are a lot of red and orange. Almost all of them are red and orange, and we do see here some of them. There's actually Utah County, Utah, and look at this one. Still rising. Some of these sites have not peaked yet. Here's one that did, Weber and Davis, 228,000 population. It's dropping ever so slightly. Now, what we also want to take a look at here is Arizona, which we haven't looked at Arizona in a while, and I apologize for that. I don't always, sometimes I miss it, or sometimes I don't even recognize that there actually is one site in the whole state of Arizona that is updating at this time, and though be it, it's only 3,500 population. Wow, look at this. La Paz? I hope I'm saying that correctly. Wow. It is going straight up. There's still some sites that have not peaked. We'll come back to California on wastewater scan because that has updated a little bit more sooner than what's on here. What's on here is likely, probably, maybe a little bit behind. But what I do want to show you is, look at the Great Lakes region. There's still a lot of orange and red. But what you are seeing is Ohio. Do you notice something here? Have you been following my videos? If you have, you know Ohio was pretty much bright red all across the board. We're seeing a lot more orange. We're even seeing some light blue colors pop up now. That's a good sign. That means things are starting to drop in Ohio. But let's click on a few individual sites. Is that the case at all these sites? Let's see. For example, Cincinnati, Ohio was dropping. That's leveled off a little bit, but we do like to look at this area because we just talked about a story the other day that was out there about illness starting to pop up at a few Cincinnati schools. So it's something that we have to concern ourselves with. Taking a look up in the Cleveland area, not doing too bad. And you can see here, generally, for the most part, Ohio at this time is dropping. And wow, a lot of these sites are rapidly dropping. That's a good thing. We also want to take a look at the Chicago area. Let's see what's going on here. And we will see here, believe it or not, there have been a few sites that are rising. Hopefully that changes. Okay, this Cook County site right here is actually dropping a little bit. It's 1.1 million population. That's a good thing. It's in the orange, but I got to zoom in even closer. There's a red site right here. Can we click on it? Doesn't update all that frequently, but you can see here. Here's another Cook County. Very small site, but it is rising a little bit. And then Dubois, that's dropping. That's good. And then here's another Dubois, 45,000 was dropping. Now it's leveled off ever so slightly. And let's go back out wide view here. we want to take a look at the East Coast. Generally, on the East Coast, what you will see is the I-95 corridor up and down the East Coast. There's still a lot of red and orange. So there's still a lot more dropping that needs to happen, especially from the DC to Boston corridor. You can see Philadelphia, my area. There is still a lot of red that's going on that needs to drop. You can see there's a lot of red sites in Pennsylvania. Look at this, Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, 25,000 population. COVID's starting to rise there yet again. And when we take a look at what's going on in Center County, 12,000 population, that's rising. We're going to take a look at this one on wastewater scan as well. Here's another one, 90,000 population. It's still rising up. That, my friends, that's not a good thing. Let's hop over to wastewater scan now. Let's get a little bit more of a live update on what's going on in State College, Pennsylvania. That's where Penn State University is. Okay, now this here says 16,000 population. So is it any of those two sites? I don't know, because one said 12,000. The other said 90,000 population. But look at this. So we can actually go right down to the date on this. And it started rising again around the 16th. That's right after the students came back to Penn State University. And ever since then, wastewater has rapidly gone up. RSV was dropping. Then right around the 14th of January, same time COVID started going up, it started going up as well. So it's still at high, and it is rising again. See why it is important here? If you went by the national trend, you would think, oh, well, everything's fine, it's safe. No, let's dive into your local level. Here you go. There's State College, Pennsylvania. It's rising there. All right, let's go further up into the Northeast. There are two places we want to look at. We want to look at York, and I'll show you why. Yet again, not following the national trend. York, COVID has just started going back up again. On the 17th, you can see it's high and rising again. RSV at this time, high. It was trying to rise again. Most recent update shows maybe it's going to flatten out now. Influenza B low, HMPV is low. Norovirus is starting to go straight up. That's not good. And everything else is not much of an issue at this time. Now let's take a look at Boston. If you saw last week's wastewater update, you know Boston was rising last week. Let's hope that has changed. Okay, so they have started dropping ever so slightly, and most recent update shows maybe it's going to be flattening out, but the levels are still high. RSV, slightly rising again. Influenza is starting to drop, still high though. HMPV is just flat at this time, but still high. And norovirus is high at this time, and you can see here it is rapidly rising, and we have hepatitis A detections. All right, let's go down south. Let's go way down south now. Let's go down to, how about we come just east of Raleigh, North Carolina, and we see what's going on in Wilson, North Carolina. I want to show you South Carolina, but that Greenville site does not update for some reason. You can see Wilson, North Carolina, high COVID, and starting to rise ever so slightly. High RSV, flat at this time though. Influenza is low, HMPV is low, and norovirus is high, but slightly starting to drop. And hepatitis A, take a look at this. There are detections of hepatitis A at this time. Now let's go down to Miami, Florida, because if you recall, we did have some rising in the Miami area. Hopefully that trend has changed, and it does look like this site, yeah, it's not really updating that well. Let's go to a different wastewater site, and let's see here. And this one, nope, also not updating, so something's going on here. Let's try the northern Miami site. Can we get some accurate data out of there? Again, no, not updating. So all of a sudden we are having issues with the sites in Miami, so let's skip that. Let's come up here to see what's going on up in the Orlando area. And in Orlando at this time, okay, COVID is high. Yeah, rising ever so slightly. Remember, it is winter. They do get a huge migration. A lot of people go to Florida in the wintertime, you know, to escape the sunny, warmer weather. RSV is high and rising at this time. Influenza is starting to rise again. HMPV, not much of an issue. Norovirus was dropping. Now it's starting to rise again. You can see there is some hepatitis A detection and no detection of Mpox at this time. Let's go west now, shall we? And let's take a look at what's going on. How about in the New Orleans area? Mardi Gras, that's going to be coming up. That's just around the corner. And let's see what's going on there. So COVID was dropping. Then it flattened a little bit. Now it looks like it's trying to rise a bit again. RSV was rising. Now it's flattened out a little bit. It shows a drop on the most recent update. That might end up getting flattened out. High for that. High for COVID. High for influenza, though influenza is dropping. HMPV, not much of an issue. Norovirus dropping at this time. And you can see here, look at this. Hepatitis A It is in circulation. I'm telling you, it is really hard to get tested for hepatitis A. If I had to guess, there are a lot more cases out just based on these wastewater estimates than we actually know about. There was a hepatitis A scare not far from where I live here in Philadelphia. We shared this story the other day, and it is definitely something that is out there more than we know about. All right, let's take a look at what is going on in Kansas. And we'll take a stop here at the wastewater site. It says P20, Kansas City, Kansas. COVID is saying high at this time, but look at these levels here. That doesn't look all that high to me. RSV is coming in at high again. It's dropping at this time. Influenza not an issue. HMPV not an issue. Norovirus is medium and dropping at this time. And there is some detection of hepatitis A. All right, continuing on here. Let's go out to the West Coast now. And we do have to make a stop in Las Vegas. We're going to take a look at Las Vegas now. We're going to take a look at Las Vegas again in a few weeks. Why? Well, Super Bowl. So here's Las Vegas. You can see here, again, the levels are low for COVID. This time, RSV is medium and dropping. Influenza is high, but it's saying high, but take a look at this. That looks relatively low to me. I think they're doing some changes here to the wastewater scan site. You can see how this is all spaced out. Yeah, but again, hepatitis, it has been detected yet again at this site as well, but it hasn't been detected since last year, so that is some good news. Continuing our way to the West Coast, we're going to do multiple stops in California. Let's go to the Bay Area first and see what's going on there. We'll just go to southeast side of San Francisco first, and you can see here, COVID at this time, it's medium, slightly dropping. RSV is high still, but it's, again, look at its pathogens here. I don't know why it's coming up as high, but it's not rising at this time. Influenza, not much of an issue. HMPV, not much of an issue. Although, yet again, it's saying high. And when we take a look at this, it's low levels. Norovirus is medium at this time. And hepatitis A. Yes, there have been some detections of that. Continuing our way southward, let's see what's going on down in Los Angeles, shall we? And let's just click on, how about we go to northern side of LA, and we see medium for COVID at this time, and high for RSV still, but again, look at this. It doesn't look all that high, but it is dropping at this time. HMPV is not much of an issue at this time, neither is influenza. Norovirus is at medium levels. Hepatitis A, it has been detected. And look at this. There were some detections of Mpox back in December of last year. All right, we are going to make one more stop, and then we will call it a day for our wastewater update. And this stop is going to be up in the Midwest. How about we come over here to, can we do St. Cloud, Minnesota? Let's see what's going on in St. Cloud. And I'm seeing right off the bat some high levels here. We can see COVID is high, but it is dropping at this time. RSV is high, but dropping at this time. Influenza B is low. HMPV is low. Norovirus is high, and it was dropping. Now it's leveled off to almost rising slightly once again. Some hepatitis A detection. And look at this. Last year they had Mpox detection in this region. And since we are in the upper Midwest now, let's just do one more, because I think it is important that we do one more wastewater site. And let's choose Iowa. Okay, let's look at what's going on in Marshalltown, Iowa. Now, this is not the biggest wastewater site ever, but 27,400 population. It is some bigger than some other wastewater sites. COVID is low at this time. RSV it's coming in high, but take a look at this. Does that look high to you? It's almost down near zero. I don't know what's going on with these calculations here. Influenza B, yeah, that's rising at this time. HMPV, not much of an issue. Norovirus is low. Hepatitis A, there are some detections of it, and no detections of Mpox recently, but there were some detections last year in December, which seems to be a theme. All right, that does it for today's wastewater update. So you saw, the national trend is down, and why, yes, there are places that are dropping. There's a lot of places that are dropping. It comes down to your local community. There are some areas that are still rising. If you want to take a look at the data that you just saw here today, especially on Wastewater Scan, follow the link down below to my website, and on that, there's a list of different things that we use in a pandemic update. It's not, I haven't updated recently. I should update it, but you will find stuff such as Wastewater Scan on there, and you can take a look at this data for yourself. If there's a wastewater site in your community, you can see what's going on. All right, I know we didn't get to every state. We'll get to some more sites during the daily pandemic update this week. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, leave your comments, share this with anyone who needs to see it, and stay safe. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic Sunday afternoon. Bye-bye.